Ho ho ho! Let's make a gorgeous piece of Christmas decor with Dollar Tree items and a Walmart Santa. It's Christmas in July. I'm going to use this peel and stick tile from the Dollar Tree for my background and a frame I got from the Dollar Tree around Halloween. I first clean up the frame with a little rubbing alcohol to prep it for the paint. And I have to take off that insert to the frame because we have to get rid of that ugly snake. Ugh. Got to clean up that tile with rubbing alcohol too because I'm going to hit it with some Fusion Mineral Paint in the color Raw Silk. I call it my creamy dreamy paint. Then we give it a quick dry. Next, I tackle the frame with the same color Fusion Mineral Paint in the color Raw Silk. And I love this frame because it's so ornate. It's so much prettier than the insert. I want to get down to all the nooks and crannies, so I'm taking my time making sure there's none of the dark spots showing. And I'm going to give this a quick dry as well. I decided it needed a second coat and another quick dry. Once both pieces are completely dry, I'm going to cover that oval part and say goodbye to that ugly snake. I hit it with a good amount of Mod Podge and I just spread it out very evenly. Once that's done, I simply lay the tile out on a diagonal and make sure it's centered in the frame. Then I simply cut around the edge of the oval with a pair of scissors. Now it looks a little like a fancy egg. I give it a little pressure to make sure it's not sliding around and I replace it back inside the frame. And I'm already loving the look of this piece. I'm feeling a vintage vibe coming on here. Next, I take my Behr Dark Wax and an Essential stencil brush and apply the wax to the center. And I do it in sections so it doesn't set up too dark. I use a baby wipe and I begin to wipe it back, leaving the wax in the nooks and crannies. Once it's all applied, I wipe it back some more to give it a lighter base, and I add another layer of wax to the high points of the tile, just playing with it a little bit until I'm satisfied with the look. Then I move on to the ornate frame, adding the wax in sections and wiping it back and repeating. See how pretty the effect is after wiping it back? While we're still applying the stain, let me take this time to invite you to subscribe to this channel on YouTube and follow my page on Facebook. That way you'll be sure not to skip a beat. Okay, let's finish this stain. It's quite a process, but the end result is so worth it. Look how vintage that looks. I absolutely love it. Next, enter this gorgeous vintage Santa I picked up at Walmart for just a couple dollars. Isn't he special? Love his sweet little Santa face. So I simply removed the little tag and hook and I centered him in the middle of the frame. And the angels sang. I love it. Now I apply my 1-2 punch gluing method of B7000 and hot glue for a quick grab. I suggest using the B7000 very liberally and keep both glues about 1/4 inch from the edges so it doesn't ooze out onto the background. Then I center Santa right where I want him in the middle of the frame, and I decided his cute little cheeks needed a little more color, so I applied lightly some scrapbooking ink and a dark pink to give him some color, and a tiny dab at the end of his nose as well. Oh my goodness, I couldn't love him more. Time to bring out a little shimmer. I'm using an antique gold paste wax from Pentart just on all of the high points of the frame. And what a difference these little details make to this piece. Gives it a rich, elegant feel. So pretty, right? Okay, so the next layer of loveliness, I take a few sprigs of this pretty flocked pine pick I got from Hobby Lobby, and I arrange them in a mini spray at the top of the frame. Sorry it got out of the camera view a little bit. Now I had some little gold bells in my stash and I decided I was going to take them and string them up on this black ribbon. I thought it looked so pretty with the vintage flair of the frame. So I strung them up and tied them in a knot, and I decided I'm going to use them right in the center of the flocked pine. Now that I had a game plan, I go ahead and just hot glue that little pine spray at the top of the frame. 2 on one side and 2 on the other. Then I go ahead and I hot glue those bells right in the center and let them dangle down. But then I realized this piece was desperately crying out for a pop of Christmas red. So I got out my red velvet ribbon and I created a little pinch bow for the center. I took a little piece of that black ribbon and put it in the center of the pinch bow just to add a little contrast. And I just went ahead and added it right into the center of that little pine spray right above the bells with a little dab of hot glue. And seriously, folks, how sweet did this little vintage Santa ornament turn out? Tell me in the comments if you would have chosen this color for this particular frame. What color would you have chosen? I think Santa Baby never looked so good. Now let's slow this video down so you can see it a little better. I love him. Look at how vintage he looks. Isn't that prettier than that ugly old snake? I'm just saying. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it gave you some inspiration. All right, guys, have a great night. Love you all. Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas! Ho, 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 ho.